Of all the animals in nature, none is more playful or endearing than the otter. Also found along the wave-swept coastline is the seal. I bet you didn't know it uses the sun for navigation. This brings us to the clown of nature, the penguin. For these three animals, home is where the ice is. Join us in their unique world when Nature Watch introduces you to the creatures of the polar ice. Coming up next on HBO. Among the creatures that live in the chilly waters of the North Pacific, none is so playful, attractive, and just plain endearing as the Enhydra lutris, the sea otter. In the wild, they frequent the kelp beds of the Great Pacific Rim, from the Aleutian Islands down both the Asian and American coasts. The event you're witnessing has rarely been seen on television. With growing excitement, the video crew waited patiently for 32 days for it to happen. What you are seeing is the birth of a sea otter. Sea otters live in the water, mate in the water, and are born in the water. The mother has curled herself into a ball and is trying to help the pup along with her teeth and her paws. The pup's on its way, shreds of amniotic sac clinging to its fur. Instinctively, she has already bitten off the umbilical cord. The pup is breathing on its own. The new mother's first job is to groom the infant's fur. Only when this is done, and thoroughly, will the newborn be able to keep warm and to float, to cope with a full-time waterborne life. Minutes old and looking for food. There's a nipple in there somewhere. The male, responsible for all this, sees to his own grooming. The first moments of a new sea otter's life, its first consciousness of being alive and in a brave new world, are intimately associated with mother and with a lot of loving attention. In nature, sea otters live in large, close-knit families. They live, apparently contentedly, together all their lives. He's only a week old and already onto solid food. A tasty piece of squid. Trouble is, it's too solid and on the rubbery side. So he uses it as a teething ring. Sea otters eat a variety of marine creatures, but they're big on bivalves, on abalone and clams, crustaceans with shells that need breaking open. This is their special trick, and a good one. In all of nature, this is among the very few instances of actual tool using by any mammal other than man. Since it's their best trick, well, best survival technique, they start learning it early in life. Sometimes very early indeed. Mother and pup mix with the rest of the herd. In the wilds of reef or kelp bed, they would do the same. But they still stick closely together. Until that fateful moment when the mating urge comes again. The pup is forced out of the charmed circle. There are hormones at work here. The mating urge is overpowering. The female still feels a strong pull toward her pup, a need to be with him. But for the next few frenzied moments, the pup will have to wait. He has her by the muzzle. She surrenders. The moment over, the male relaxes and grooms himself. The female, having dealt with those urges, returns to her pup, whom she will again hold and care for with undivided attention. For months, it will live there, her chest, its bed, and its playpen. When it's old enough to be alone, she will bed it down carefully and leave it napping. But not for long. And she won't be far away. The beautifully marked and very rare ribbon or banded seal is one of some dozen members of the seal family that roam the world's oceans and inhabit their coastlines. Some thrive in the tropics, some in inland seas and even large lakes. But for most seals, home is where the ice is. Some say the bold markings of the ribbon seal are adaptive camouflage. The ribbons look, to prey or predators, like cracks in the ice. Perhaps surprisingly, these cold waters are rich in nutrients, in krill and in fish. Several species of seal are born in the drifting ice and live out their lives without ever touching land. In the cycle of the seal's life, the female creates a breathing hole, builds a snow den nearby, eventually has her pup in it, and raises it on her milk. Since that milk is 12 to 13 times richer than cow's milk, the seal pup grows very quickly and can soon be allowed by a watchful mother to explore the wonders of its clean white home. Like the otter, seals are among a small, specialized group of mammals at home in the water, but able to use their paws or flippers to move about on land or ice. Just snoozing. Another of his valuable adaptations is an ability to close off both his ear and his nose passages when underwater. Without really awakening, he raises his nose for a lungful of air, then dozes off again. Of the many different species of seal, each has its own ecological niche, its own particular lifestyle. While some migrate from one part of the polar ice pack to another to breed and bear their young, others travel hundreds of miles to find exactly the particular rocky beach where they themselves were born. It's like salmon needing to find that special stretch of stream bed before nature can take its course. An island in the seas of North Japan. The wave-swept coastline is wild and dramatic, but so are thousands and thousands of miles of similar coastline all round both sides of the broad Pacific. Yet this is the place. They've used the sun for navigation. They've sniffed and followed mysterious chemical signposts in vast expanses of open sea. Now they've arrived, and it's time for rest and relaxation. Which way are seals heading from an evolutionary point of view? Toward land or sea? Zoologists explain that the small front legs are a step away from limbs and toward the development of flippers, like a dolphin's. They also say that the stumpy little tail, almost hidden by what's left of the back feet, is vestigial, left over from time spent as a land animal. They are then evolving back toward the sea from whence all life is said to have come, though they're not in a hurry. Meanwhile, they have the advantages of both sea and land. Many species of seal give birth to their young ashore. This pup, only minutes old, is still in its amniotic sac, waiting to be cleaned and prepared for the world. For pups and adults of this species, the shore is a place safe from enemies, yet close to their food source, the open sea. When they feed, they do it together. Again, a survival adaptation. There's safety in numbers. The young learn at their own speed. Soon they will be as much at home in the sea as their mothers are. Wherever they are on the evolutionary scale, these capable seagoing mammals are perfectly adapted for the life they live. The sea is their wilderness. They are at home here. Lacking the life and death challenges of the wild, the seal's behavior in a zoo tank will not be quite the same as it is at sea. But he will still shine at grace and agility. And very few people in most of the world would have much chance of seeing how sensitive and intelligent the seal is unless they meet him in a zoo. Seals are aquatic carnivores. Some species hunt far offshore for the likes of deep-sea crabs. Others cruise the edges of ice floes and prey on seabirds. Good zookeepers try to match the food with the type of seal. On their own turf, whether a chilly patch of Arctic ice or a cold and craggy island beach, the seals of the world are among the better adapted and well-designed of all the many species with which we share our planet. Penguins have the ability to live in one of the toughest natural environments in the world, the turbulent Ross Sea in the Antarctic, 10 degrees of latitude from the South Pole. They not only live in these extraordinary conditions, they thrive on them. Penguins appear clownish to our innocent eyes because of their upright posture, their waddling walk, their awkwardly extended little wings, and their impeccable caricatures of men in evening clothes. Whether in the wild or as popular performers in the world's zoos, penguins are great entertainers. We love to watch their apparently comic antics. Even the king penguin, one of the largest and most impressive birds in the world, appears funny in a zoo. In fact, he's trying to keep his feet cool. They're designed for sub-zero temperatures. The Adelie penguin looks like a cartoon character. And so do the shaggy-crested macaronis. Yet what they're doing for the benefit of zoo visitors, the vast majority of whom have little hope of ever seeing these amazing birds in their natural state, is displaying their natural wild behavior. This elaborate posturing has to do with courtship, which has to do with gene selection, which in the wilds has much to do with the unamusing business of survival. In the wilds, the jackass penguin's stunning imitation of a Spanish burro would be a mating cry. Here in the zoo, it's an act, put on by sophisticated crowd pleasers, old stagers. Oblivious to their audience on the other side of the zoo fence, two beautiful rock hopper penguins do what they would do were they on a chilly slab of pack ice off a sub-Antarctic island. It's courtship, the vital business of mate selection. And preening, the equally vital task of keeping a thick layer of feathers seaworthy. In the frigid waters of home, this too would be an act of survival. Now for a demonstration of the purpose of those awkwardly stuck-out little wings, and the feet at the very back of the swimming body, just where a propeller would be on a fast boat. And you thought penguins were clumsy creatures? Using their wings as powerful flippers and their feet as rudders, penguins can swim up to 50 kilometers an hour. Only seals and porpoises can swim as fast. Like so many popping champagne corks, they land on the ice floes of home. Their gait has that comic waddle because their feet are at the very back of their bodies for swimming efficiency. And they're such good swimmers, they can even do it on the ice. As for the comical outfit, the formal evening clothes, brilliant camouflage for a bird that makes its living as an underwater fisherman. Now for their record of success at surviving in a frozen, hostile land. They live most of their lives at sea, on a favorite fishing ground. They return to dry land only to breed, and they do so in numbers that are truly amazing. The heads-down posture is one of non-aggression. It means that we're not here to claim territory, we're just passing through. The Adelies, alone among the 15 different species of penguins, have a curious ritual involving stones. Some believe the gesture is a male's promise to build a good nest out of unpromising material. Adelie penguins, even those born in zoos, demonstrate this same behavior. Clearly, it has survival value. It's in the genes. A basic test for animals all over the world. Can you earn the right to a piece of territory by defending it? In the zoo or in the wild, territory is of paramount importance. Without territory, you've nothing to offer a prospective mate. And there'd be no point in courting behavior, no place to raise a family. In fact, penguins are gregarious. They love to live in crowds, and they are monogamous. They have one mate, and they stick together, sharing parental duties. Like many other seabirds, penguins appear to need the excitement of large aggregations before they can mate and breed. This is especially true of adelies, which more than any other species demonstrate the outstanding abilities of all penguins to succeed in difficult circumstances. This is the Antarctic, and here are the penguins, reaching to the horizon. Colonies have been known to reach 5 million strong. Penguins, one of nature's truly impressive success stories.